Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affair of 4th of March 2021. You can see two images of the day, but today we will discuss 14 to 15 very important and the most important current affair. So watch the video till last, and I am requesting you all the student that you have to like this video, you have to share as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe our channel. But before proceeding, I just want to discuss about Affairs Cloud subscription, that how you can buy our Affairs Cloud subscription at very minimal cost. And this subscription is related to our current affair PDF subscription. And guys, you can subscribe our current affairs at very minimal cost, but firstly, you have to download our application. And what is the name of application, sir? Name of the application is Careers Cloud. So remember, the name of the application is not the Affairs Cloud. Name of application is Careers Cloud. You can buy 1 year current affairs and 2 year current affair as well. And both the prices are very much low. Even you are buying 1 year as well as 2 years. But if you want to buy 2020 subscription, it means the old year subscription, it is available for 6 months as well as for full 1 year of 2020. Then you have to visit our website, that is affairscloud.com/current affair. Now the main thing what we are providing under subscription, that it means why you are buying this subscription. It means what we are providing. Firstly, we are providing daily wise PDF. It means daily wise PDF section, we are providing two PDFs. One is the detailed current affair of particular day. Second is the question and answer current affairs. It means all the theoretical current affairs will be converted in the format of question and answer, so that you can revise daily current affairs in the format of question and answer. Next is weekly PDF, so that you can revise the current affair on weekly basis. And next is the weekly test. Very important, especially if you want to evaluate yourself that how much current affair you can retain for a long time period and how much revision you need again and again. Next is the monthly PDF section, and it is the most important section because we are providing various type of PDFs according to your convenience. Like first is the study PDF. It means all the detailed and theoretical current affair provided to you under this PDF. Next is the question and answer PDF. It means all the theoretical current affair will be provided in the format of question and answer, so that you can revise again and again. Next is the pocket PDF. As the name suggests, it is very important to revise the current affair before your exam in theoretical format. Next is the banking, finance and economy PDF, especially for those students who are preparing for banking exam, RBI exam, or any type of the banking awareness exam. Next is the top 100 current affairs. It means the best 100 current affairs of a particular month will be provided to you in the format of question and answer, so that you can revise the current affairs again and again. So guys, all these things like daily current affairs, weekly current affairs, monthly PDFs, and various type of the topic wise PDFs will be provided under this subscription. And the price of subscription is very much low, but on that minimal price we are providing 10% extra discount. How you can avail this 10% extra discount? You have to use this code ASH10, then you can get the 10% extra discount. So let's start today's current affair, that is the 4th of March 2021 current affair. But I am requesting you again, all the students, that you have to like this video, you have to share as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe our channel. So let's start with the first most important question section. Here is our first question. Which state or UT topped the medal tally at the Khelo India Winter Games held at Gulmarg, Jammu Kashmir? And it is the most important question because this question we already covered in the past 2 or 3 days. That question was which state or UT is hosting the Khelo India Winter Games? Then answer of this question was Gulmarg, Jammu and Kashmir. But now we are asking that which state or UT topped this medal tally. And remember guys, this is the second Khelo India Winter Games, and there is a Khelo India University Games which is hosted by which state? It is hosted by Karnataka. Remember this University Games. And Khelo India Youth Game is hosted by which state? Answer is Haryana. So remember this. These are very important questions. And which state topped this second Khelo India Winter Games? Answer of this question is Jammu and Kashmir. It means the hosting UT top this medal tally list of Khelo India Winter Games. You have to remember this. You can see here Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir topped the medal tally list in the second edition of Khelo India Winter National Games, and it is held at exact place of Gulmarg in Jammu and Kashmir. You can see Jammu and Kashmir won 11 gold, 18 silver and 5 bronze medals, and Jammu Kashmir led the medal tally during the closing ceremony of the Khelo India Winter Games in the ski resort of Gulmarg. And Jammu Kashmir retained the top sport for the second consecutive time. It means in 2020, that is the first Khelo India Winter Games, and Jammu and Kashmir topped in the first game also. In the second also Jammu Kashmir. And remember, both the games hosted by Jammu Kashmir, but the first edition also hosted by the Ladakh simultaneously. But remember, third edition also hosted by which state or UT? It is again UT of Jammu and Kashmir. So all the three events of Khelo India Winter Games hosted by Jammu Kashmir, but first event is with the Ladakh. So other sporting events of 2022 you have to remember. One is the Olympic Winter Games 2022 is held in Beijing, China, and Asian Youth Games 2021 also held in China. So you have to remember this. And in China, 2022 Asian Youth Game actually held in the Guangdong. So you have to remember the exact place because examiner can confuse you that it is Beijing, it is Guangzhou, it is Guangzhou. So examiner can confuse. So remember the exact places. Now we are moving to next question. Which movie won the Best Motion Picture Drama in 78th Golden Globe Awards 2021? So first thing you have to remember under this question that which country is hosting this event, that is the Golden Globe Awards 2021, and it is the 78th edition of the Golden Globes Award. And remember, United States of America is hosting this award, that is Golden Globe Award 2021. And first time this event is hosted by two cities. One is the Los Angeles, second is the New York City. So remember, it is first time that two cities are hosting because it is a virtual event due to COVID-19. So that's why you have to remember. And guys, we are talking about which movie won the Best Motion Picture, because you have to remember the Best Motion Picture Drama, Best Picture in the Comedy Character, next is the Best Director, Best Actor and Best Actress. These 5 awards you have to remember. I am repeating again: Best Movie or the Best Picture in Drama section, Best Picture in the Musical or the Comedy section, next is the Best Director, Best Actress and Best Actor. So these 5 things you have to remember. First we are talking about who won the Best Motion Picture in Drama category, and answer of this question is Nomadland. Nomadland. And guys, remember, if examiner is asking about Best Motion Picture in the Musical and the Comedy Character, then answer is the Borat subsequent movie film. You have to remember this. And if the examiner is asking about the Best Director Motion Picture, then answer is Chloe Zhao. I am repeating the question. If the examiner is asking about the Best Director of Motion Picture, then answer is Chloe or the Chloe Zhao. She belongs to China and she is the first Asian who won this Golden Globe Award of 2021. So remember this. You can see here 78th Golden Globe Award, and best movie is the Nomadland. And remember, the TV category best series is The Crown. You have to remember, and it is you can say best drama series, and it is published under the Netflix platform. You can see here Jackson Lee is the first black male ambassador of the Golden Globe. And remember, brother and sister both are the brand ambassador of the Golden Globe, and the name of the brother and sister is Stetcher Lee and Jackson Lee, the children of filmmakers and 3-time Golden Globe nominee Spike Lee and his wife Tonya Lewis Lee. But you have to just remember, Jackson Lee is the first black male ambassador of the Golden Globe. This is the most important thing. And Nomadland by Chinese female director Chloe Zhao won the best picture drama, and Chloe Zhao won the best director motion picture. So remember, the Nomadland is the best picture in the drama category, and the director of Nomadland won the best director award. Next is the Chadwick Boseman was posthumously honored with the best actor Golden Globe award. So best actor was Chadwick Boseman, and this award was given him as a posthumously, it means after the death. And best actress award goes to which person? Best actress award goes to Andra Day. Remember, Andra Day. So best actress, best actor Chadwick, best director is Chloe Zhao, belongs to China, and best movie is Nomadland, and best comedy movie is Borat subsequent movie film. And you can also remember the best drama series. Best drama series is The Crown, produced by the Netflix. So these are the very important things you have to remember. Otherwise, the list is very much long. So you don't have to remember these things. And the award recognizes excellence in both domestic movies, foreign movies, and the television series also. So remember this 78th Golden Globe Awards. Now moving to next question. Who is awarded with the best actor under the Dadasaheb Phalke International Film Festival Award 2021? Again, the list is so much long, but you have to remember very, very minute things. But we are talking about again the best actor. So there are so many things you can remember. Like again, you have to remember the best film, best director, best actor, best actress, and there is a one category best international feature film. But we are first talking about the best actor who won the Dadasaheb Phalke International Award 2021, and best actor is Akshay Kumar. If the examiner is asking about the best director, then it is Anurag Basu. If the examiner is asking about best actress, then it is Deepika Padukone. But if examiner is asking about the best film, then it is Tanhaji, Ajay Devgan movie. And the best international feature film, it is Parasite. You can see here the list. You have to remember, not remember all these things, just remember best international feature film, it is Parasite. Next is best film, Tanhaji. Best director is Anurag Basu. Not remember best cinematographer. This is not so much important. Best actor is Akshay Kumar. Best actress is Deepika Padukone. These five things you have to remember. Firstly, first international film, first film, best director, best actor, best actress. These five things you have to remember firstly. Then you can remember best web series. This best web series is Scam 1992. It belongs to the Harshal Mehta. Then you have to remember critic best actor because it is given to the late actor Sushant Singh Rajput. So posthumously it was given. Critics best actor. Next, best short film. It is again very important that it is Khyali Pulao. You have to remember this. These things are very, very important. But one thing you can again remember, the performer of the year. This is again important and very famous dancer. She is very talented dancer, Nora Fateh. So you have to remember these things. I am repeating again. Best international feature film. It is Parasite. Best film. It is Tanaji. Best director Anurag Basu. Best actor Akshay Kumar. Best actress Deepika Padukone. Sorry. Best web series is The Scam 1992. Critics best actor is Sushant Singh Rajput, late actor, and best short film is Khyali Pulao. And performer of the year is Nora Fateh. These things you have to remember because these are the most important. Otherwise, list is so much long. You can't remember all these things, but you have to read all these things. But you have to remember firstly this which I take. Now we are moving to next question. United Nations World Wildlife Day is annually observed across the globe on which day? Again, the most important day you have to remember, United Nations World Life Day, World Life Day. And guys, one thing you have to remember that India passed the Wildlife Protection Act in 1972, and in 1973 we started the Project Tiger. 1973 we started the Project Tiger to save the tigers. But remember, 1972 Wildlife Protection Act was started. But we are talking about the United Nations World Wildlife Day, and it is celebrated on which day? It is celebrated on the 3rd of March 2021, and it is celebrate the wild fauna, wild flora across the globe and to create awareness about the conservation of wildlife. Remember, for the conservation of wildlife. The events of the Wildlife Day are organized by the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. It means the organization named as CITES or CITES. CITES means, I am repeating again, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wildlife, Flora and Fauna. You have to remember this. And you have to remember one most important thing, that what is the theme of this World Wildlife Day. And theme is forest and livelihood, sustaining people and planet. Again, very important theme can be asked by the examiner. And remember, the first World Wildlife Day was observed on the 3rd March 2014. So this is very important question, and this question was asked in Amazon quiz. You have to remember this, 2014. First time it was celebrated in 2014, and it is related to wildlife. And in today's world, wildlife is so much important thing for you. So that's why this day is very important. So now we are moving to next question, and it is the very important question section. Here is the first question under this section. What is the name of the application launched by the Thawarchand Gehlot for the issues related to accessibility being faced by the Divyangjan, or you can say the differently abled and other persons? And mark under the most important section, or you can mark under the very important. We marked under the most important, but we are covering under the very important because it is related to the Divyangjan and also the others. So that's why it is also a name of application. So that's why we can mark under the most important section. So answer of this question is Sughamya Bharat application. So remember, Sughamya Bharat application. You can also see here Thawarchand Gehlot ji, Sughamya Bharat application, and also he launched the handbook which named as the Photo Digest. And Thawarchand Gehlot is currently the Union Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment. You can also see here, it is initiated on the lines of achieving accessibility as mandated under section 4046 of the Rights of Persons with Disability Act 2016. So section is not important, just act is important. You have to just remember the act, Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, because earlier these all things covered under the Person with a Disability Act, but in 2016 it was replaced with the Rights of Person with Disability Act 2016. The application will serve for the two purposes, like raising awareness about the need for accessibility and bring changes in the accessible feature so that everyone can access everything. It should be noted that this act was replaced with the Rights of Persons with Disability Act, and older act was known as the Person with Disability Act. And Union Minister Thawarchand Gehlot Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment virtually launched Sumagya Bharat application and a handbook entitled Assess the Photo Digest through video conference in the New Delhi. And guys, remember, the Photo Digest handbook is a collection of photographs from across different states and UTs, especially for the basic states and UTs, representing 10 basic features of accessibility and related good bad practices in easy to understand pictorial format. So this is the basic function of this pictorial handbook. And guys, remember, this application, that is the Sumagya Bharat application, the application will be monitored through the project monitoring unit, and the application will serve the two purposes I already covered, that raising awareness about the need for accessibility and bringing change in the accessible feature. And this application is available in the 10 regional languages, like basic languages: Hindi, English, Marathi, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, and so many languages, but you have to remember 10 regional languages. So now we are moving to next question. Who inaugurated first ever the India Toy Fair 2021? Very important question, because it is the Toy Fair and it was launched by Honorable Prime Minister, that is Narendra Modi ji. So it is on the lines of Atmanirbhar Bharat. You can see here, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji inaugurated the India Toy Fair 2021 held from February 27 to 2nd of March. You can see here, the underlying theme was Atmanirbhar Bharat, or the self-reliant Bharat, because 85% market of toys was captured by China. So we have to tackle this problem, and we have to manufacture these toys in India. So we are focusing on the vocal for local and the Atmanirbhar Bharat. So it was divided into the 5 stages. Like first is the preschool to class 2nd category. Next is the primary. Next is upper primary, secondary, and the senior secondary. It is not important. It is just information. Next, it is basically sponsored by Hamleys, which is owned by the Reliance Retail. And the main focus of this toy fair is to attract investment and promote export, so that we can make India as Atmanirbhar Bharat in the toy sector also. So remember, this is the very important question, because it is inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi ji. And you can remember also that the fair was in the form of a digitally accessible exhibition and platform for the public to buy toys, and also to participate in the events, activities, and network with the various stakeholders of the toy industry, so that we can make in India under the toy sector also. Now we are moving to next question. Which company is nominated by Indian government for developing the West Container Terminal of Colombo South Port in Sri Lanka with Japan government? It means India and Japan government will develop the West Container Terminal in the Colombo South Port in Sri Lanka. And from Indian side, one company is nominated. Japan government still have to discuss about the company name, but Indian government nominated one company from Indian side, and this company is Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone. And guys, remember, this is not a new project, because it was signed in 2019. And recently, Sri Lankan government decided to eject India and Japan from the 2019 tripartite agreement to jointly develop the East Container Terminal of the Colombo port. And remember about Sri Lanka, because this port is related to Sri Lanka. President is Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and capital is Colombo, and also the Shri Jayawardene Kotte, and currency is Sri Lankan rupee. You can see here, Sri Lanka approves proposal to develop Colombo Western Container Terminal with India and the Japan. You can see here, Sri Lanka cabinet approved to build, operate, and transfer proposal for developing the West Container Terminal of Colombo South Port. Companies or the parties nominated by the India and the Japanese government. It means 3 countries will build this port. One is the Sri Lanka, because it is located in Sri Lanka, and 2 countries are India and Japan. And Japan still have to decide which company will establish or build this port, but Indian government decided, and this is Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone. The port will be developed in collaboration with the Sri Lankan Ports Authority by default, because it is located in Sri Lanka. India and Japan will have 85% stake in the West Container Terminal, and 15% stake is of the Sri Lanka. So guys, remember, it is India, Sri Lanka, and Japan. Now we are moving to next question. Who inaugurated 6th edition of International Conference on Pharmaceutical and Medical Device Sector 2021? It means there are 2 conferences. One is related to the Pharmaceutical 2021 conference. Second is the Medical Device Sector 2021. And both the conference have different themes. So I will discuss about the themes, but you have to tell me who inaugurated this 6th edition of International Conference on Pharmaceutical and Medical Device Sector 2021. and I am giving you hint that he is currently the Union Minister of Chemicals and Fertilizers. So answer of this question is now very simple. All the students who are giving answer very much right. Answer of this question is D.V. Sadanand Gowda. You can see the smiling faces of the our Union Minister D.V. Sadanand Gowda. You can see 6th International Conference on Pharmaceutical and Medical Device Sector. It is inaugurated by Union Chemical and Fertilizer Minister D.V. Sadanand Gowda. All the Union Minister have smiling faces. You can see the D.V. Sadanand Gowda and in the last to last question we discuss about the Harshvardhan ji, also the smiling face. The special focus of this edition was Global Investors Meet by Invest India. The theme of India Medical Device 2021 was India MedTech Future, Innovate and Make in India through Global. Because of COVID-19, we are basically focusing on the medical device manufacturing, and India want to overcome the problem of importing medical device. So we want to become self-reliant in the medical devices. The theme of the Future Pharma 2021 was India Pharma Industry Future is Now. It means due to COVID-19, we also want to become the world biggest manufacturing industry under the pharmaceutical industry. So you have to remember, pharmaceutical and medical devices are correlated, but in the both sectors we want to become the first and the biggest manufacturer country. And guys, remember, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers, Devanand or you can say the D.V. Sadanand Gowda is the Union Minister of Chemical and Fertilizers. Constituency is Bangalore, North Karnataka. And who is currently the Minister of State, you have to also remember, Mansukh Lakshman Bhai, and his constituency is Gujarat, but he is currently member of Rajya Sabha. Now we are moving to next question. Which state government launched first of its kind Engineering Research and Development Policy 2021? So this is a very new kind of policy which is basically passed by the state government, and this policy known as the Engineering Research and Development Policy 2021. And by this policy, the state aimed at making the state responsible for 45% of India's growth in the engineering sector by 2025. It means out of 100% growth which we achieved till the 2025, out of this 100% growth, 45% should belongs to only from that state. That's why they want to focus on the engineering research and development till the 2025, and the policy also solve the problem of employment, because it will generate 50,000 employment opportunities, and it will also focus on the research and development. And this state government is Karnataka. So remember, this state government is Karnataka. You all know who is the chief minister. Chief minister is Yediyurappa ji, and Karnataka governor is Vajubhai Vala. But most important thing in Karnataka are the national parks. There are 6 important national parks in the Karnataka. One is the Bandipur National Park. Second, you can say the Banerghatta National Park. Third, you can say the Dandeli National Park. Again, very important national park. Next is the Kali Tiger Reserve. Fifth one is the Kudremukh National Park. It is also the iron ore very famous mine. Next, you have to remember Nagarhole National Park. So I am repeating again. First is the Bandipur National Park. Next is the Banerghatta. Next is the Dandeli, Kali Tiger Reserve. Next is Kudremukh and also the Iron Ore Reserve. Next is the Nagarhole National Park. You can also see here Karnataka launched Engineering Research Policy of 2021, and it aimed at making the state responsible for 45% of India's growth in the engineering sector by the 2025, and it will also generate the employment of 50,000 people, and in target of 5 core sectors, making India an innovation driver of the world. So this is again important things, that which 5 sectors are very important sectors under the engineering and research policy of 2021. It means we can achieve the set targets by year of 2025, and these 5 sectors are aerospace and defense. You can say the defense sector and the aircraft sector. Next is the auto sector or the electric vehicle sector, you can say. Biotechnology, pharma and medical devices. Semiconductor, or you can say the electronic system design and manufacturing. And last one is the software products. These 5 sectors, these 5 important sectors can lead the innovation driver of the world. An internship program of 3 months with stipend of rupees 10,000 rupees per month will be provided, so that maximum to maximum employment can be generated. And it will also develop engineering research and development future skill courses for the college students, which will get the 10,000 rupees per month for the 3-year program or the 3 months program. So it is very important. You have to just remember the state government name and all the related information related to the state. Now we are moving to next question. India and which country will conduct marine spatial planning in Lakshadweep and Puducherry? So why this question is a very important section, or why these 2 UTs, or you can say the Lakshadweep and Puducherry are selected for the this marine spatial planning? Because these two places have potential to flourish in multiple sectors such as industries, you can say the fisheries, tourism, or you can say these sites will become the blue economic policy which is developed by the Ministry of Earth Sciences. So you have to remember the Lakshadweep and Puducherry is selected for the marine spatial planning, and this is a program of India and which country? This is a program of India and Norway. So you have to remember India and Norway. So guys, remember Norway's capital is Oslo and the currency is Krone, Krone. Capital is Oslo. And you can also see here India and Norway agreed to conduct marine spatial planning in Lakshadweep and Puducherry. It means to develop the marine sector, or you can say these two areas are selected because they are very much capable of the fishery sector, very much capable of the industry sector and the other innovation sector. And the main center who will do the research and technology here, that is the National Center for Coastal Research, which is situated in Chennai. So you have to remember, examiner can directly ask that where is the National Center for Coastal Research? It is in Chennai, and these two sites are selected for the pilot basis, because other sites can also be selected in the long run like Chennai, Goa, Gulf of Kutch, which are very much successful. So you have to remember these two sites are selected only for the pilot basis, and this oceanic space will be discovered in the next 5 years. And remember, India and Norway signed this, and two places have been chosen due to the potential of flourish in the multiple sector like industries, fisheries and the tourism. Nothing important, just remember these sites, just remember the name, and National Center for Coastal Research is in Chennai. Now we are moving to next question. Which bank joined Lee Inc., a peer-to-peer blockchain-based data network of US-based investment banking company JP Morgan Chase? So the students who are appearing in the banking exam, this is the most important question for you. But overall, this question is the very important question. But you can remember this is very important due to first bank who joined or who go live with the blockchain based payment network of JP Morgan, and this bank is the most important bank of India, that is State Bank of India. Remember, State Bank of India became the first bank in India to go live on the blockchain based payment network of JP Morgan, and it is a peer-to-peer network and ecosystem operating under the JP Morgan blockchain and digital currency focused business. And it was demoed, or you can say the piloted, in 2017. It means it was started on the demo basis in 2017 and was originally called as Interbank Formation Network, or IIN, but it was rebranded as Lee Inc. and it is started by SBI and the JP Morgan. You can see here SBI joins JP Morgan's blockchain based payment network, and you can also see here this partnership will help SBI to reduce transaction cost, speed up the customer transaction including the international transactions if the SBI is using the JP Morgan blockchain technology. SBI become the first bank who is go on live with the blockchain based payment network of JP Morgan, because other banks were also testing this link, like ICICI Bank is there, Axis, Yes Bank, Union Bank is also testing, but they still are not on the live platform of the blockchain based platform. So it was piloted in 2017 and it was originally called as Interbank Information Network. It was rebranded as Lee Inc. in the October 2020. This is the most important question if you are appearing in the banking exam. So remember, and the network has also around 100 live banks on the network, which includes both state-owned and private institutions. And these 400 financial institutions and corporations in 78 countries and 27 of the world top 50 banks use JP Morgan Lee Inc. solution. It means it is a huge blockchain technology which can provide the speed, which can also provide the less transaction cost to the SBI, and it will very beneficial for the customer as well for the SBI. Now we are moving to the next question. National Stock Exchange signed MOU with which bank to debt capital platform for the MSMEs, so that they can list these companies who are basically issuing the debt capital or the infrastructure in the National Stock Exchange platform. And this bank is, guys, SIDBI. It means both will help the MSMEs debt capital platform. You can see here National Stock Exchange joins head with the SIDBI for debt capital platform for the MSMEs. You can also see here the MOU enables the cooperation between the NSE and SIDBI for the benefit of the MSME sector. Under the MOU, SIDBI will work with the NSE to explore the feasibility of the debt platform for the unfulfilled needs of the MSME sector. This is in regards of the recommendation of the expert committee of the MSMEs headed by the UK Sinha. You have to remember this because he was the former one of the chairman of SEBI, to develop additional instruments for the debt and equity that help crystallize the sources of funding for MSMEs. It means, in very simple language, you can say the MSMEs which are basically debt trapped under the COVID-19 situation, they will be helped by the NSE, that is the National Stock Exchange, and the SIDBI, that is Small Industries Development Bank of India. Always remember, Small Industries Development Bank of India headquarters in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. It was established in 1990, and who is the deputy managing director? Deputy managing director is V. Satya Rao. V. Satya Rao. But also remember about National Stock Exchange. National Stock Exchange was established in 1992, headquarters in Mumbai, Maharashtra, and who is the managing director and CEO is Vikram Limai. Remember, Vikram Limai. You can also see the next question. Arya Collateral Warehousing Services Private Limited entered into the strategic partnership with which bank to offer collateral management and warehousing services to support the farmers with effective market linkages. So it is a post-harvest service which is provided by Arya Collateral Warehousing Services. It means all the produce stored in the warehouses managed by Arya, and by pledging this stored produce in the warehouses managed by Arya, the farmers can get the loans from the Arya Collateral Warehouse Services Limited. It means by pledging the produce stored in the warehouses managed by the Arya company will provide the loans to the farmers, or they can also provide the financial assistance to the farmer and also procure the farmers' produce in the warehouses managed by this Arya Collateral Warehousing Services. And this bank is, guys, Canara Bank. So remember, name of the bank is Canara. You can see here Arya and the Canara Bank is tie up for the farm loans management warehousing. You can also see here to support and extend finance to the farmers, farmer producer organizations, processors and various depositors stocking their agri produce in Arya warehouse across India. It means, you in simple word you can say that Arya will support the farmers and the FPOs to get financial assistance against their agriculture produce stored in the warehouses managed by the Arya. So through the 450 FPOs that work with the Arya, Canara Bank will leverage the reach of Arya to more than 350,000 farmers. It means the farmers which are linked with the Canara Bank, also now linked with the Arya, they can store their farm produce or the agriculture produce in the warehouses managed by the Arya, and Arya will provide the loan against this agriculture produce which is stored under the warehouses of the Arya. And remember about the Canara Bank, MD and CEO is LV Prabhakar, headquarters in Bengaluru, Karnataka. And most important here is the tagline of Canara Bank. Tagline is "Together We Can." Now we are moving to the important question section. Here is our first section, or the first question. IBM partnered with which state to provide free skill training to youth? And IBM also partnered with so many states, so that's why this question is not so much important. We are covering under the important section. So if the examiner is asking about recently IBM partnered with which state to provide free skill training to youth, then answer of this question is Goa. So remember, Molam National Park is there. Remember, Goa is very important state for you. Molam National Park is there. So IBM is providing free skill training to the youth so that the youth can be future ready. You can see here IBM joins hand to provide free skill training to the state youth. You can also see here this initiative is aimed at upskilling 10,000 youth across 10 institutions in 1 year through IBM Skill Build program. Personalized coaching, experimental learning module is provided on information and communication technology, and all these things will be provided at free of cost. The program has over 1 lakh beneficiaries in India in 2020 alone. It means it can be a huge success for India, especially to provide skill or to upskill those who already have skills. So this is very important for India perspective, and it is especially important for the Goa state. Now we are moving to the one-liner important point. Here is the first point, that 39th Agartala International Book Fair begins in Tripura. So it is a state-specific news. If you belongs to Tripura, then it is very important news, because it is inaugurated by the Chief Minister of Tripura, that is Biplab Kumar Dev, and it is the 39th Agartala International Book Fair, and the theme was Ek Tripura Shresht Tripura at Agartala. So remember this. Next is 65% low and lower middle income countries slashed education budgets after COVID-19 outbreak, and it is a World Bank report. It is again very highlighting information by the World Bank that in accordance with the report of World Bank, the low and the lower middle income countries have cut the education budgets by 65% after COVID-19 pandemic, despite the urgent need for adequate funding to allow school system to reopen safely and to fund programs to make up for the losses in the learning student experience while school were closed. Because in the pandemic the school were closed, there are so many students who are not up to the education, so that's why there is a need to provide more fund in the budget, but there is a less budget due to the COVID-19 because the country don't have any resources to put in the education. So it is a World Bank report. Remember, World Bank headquarters is in Washington DC, United States of America. President is David Malpass. Establishment in 1944 with the International Monetary Fund, but International Monetary Fund countries are 190, but World Bank countries are 189. Next is the World Hearing Day 2021. It is celebrated on the 3rd of March. So remember, it is a World Hearing Day. Why this day is observed on the 3rd of March? Because it is just to raise the awareness on how to prevent deafness and hearing loss and to promote hearing care across the globe. And the main organization is World Health Organization. So you have to remember, and you have to remember what is the theme of this day: hearing care for all, screen, rehabilitate and communicate. This is not so much important, but you can remember World Hearing Day, 3rd of March. Next is Government of India, FICCI and Better Than Cash Alliance. It is a United Nations based organization, hosted Merchant Digitalization Summit 2021. So the most important agenda of this summit is merchant digitalization, so that we can increase the business scenario. We can also increase the payment scenario in the business, and it should be the hassle-free payment system in the business. So that's why this name suggests the Merchant Digitalization Summit 2021. This is the main criteria, but here organization is important, that is FICCI. So remember, the name of the organization is important and president of this organization is very important. President of this organization is Uday Shankar and name is Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. It was established in 1927. Moving to next question, Map My India integrated with the CoWIN portal to locate vaccination center. It means all the vaccination centers will be located on the Map My India application. So this is very important application, and it is a GPS based application, and all the vaccination centers will be now deployed on the CoWIN portal. And recently you have to remember, Map My India app and the CoWIN portal also integrated, and Arogya Setu app and the CoWIN portal also integrated. So these two things you have to remember. And Map My India headquarters in New Delhi. Next, Indian school students discover 18 new asteroids under International Asteroid Discover project. So this project is basically started by NASA. You have to remember this. And this project is conducted by the STEM and Space Organization of New Delhi. And the program was conducted by STEM and Space along with the International Astronomical Search Collaboration and as a part of the NASA project. You have to remember, the Discovery project took place over a period of 2 years, and around 150 students from all over India participated in the program, making it the largest asteroid discovery project in India. And remember, this project is applied or organized by the STEM and Space Organization of New Delhi. So it is not so much important, but when this project will be over, then it can be important. But now it is not so much important. These projects are basically to find the objects near the Mars and the Jupiter. It means you can say the asteroid belt between the Mars and Jupiter. This is not so much important. So you have to just remember this Agartala Book Festival. You have to remember this FICCI organization, Map My India, and you have to remember World Hearing Day. Now we are moving to the question of the day, and 3rd of March question was Sariska and Ranthambore are the reserves of which of the following? So Sariska and Ranthambore both are the tiger reserves. So answer of this question is very simple. Answer of this question is, now you can say answer is C, and maximum students are right under this question, and both are situated in which state? Both are situated in Rajasthan. Now we can move to the question of the day. Question of the day is, the famous Dilwara temples of Mount Abu are a sacred pilgrimage place for the which religion? So you have to tell me answer only in the comment box. I am waiting your answer and I am evaluating your answer. So guys, tell me answer only in the comment box. You have to provide us 700 plus likes. You have to subscribe this channel, and and you have to press this bell button so that you can receive the notification on time, because so many students are complaining that we are not receiving the notification on time. So that's why you have to press the bell button and you have to click on the all the notification. It is a Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section, and it is my personal promise that if you are watching the videos regularly and if you are reading the current affairs from the PDF, your current affairs section will go strong definitely, because 90 to 95% current affair are covered by the Affairs Cloud PDFs and the videos. So it is the genuinity of Affairs Cloud and it is the hard work of Affairs Cloud team. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'm basically telling you again and again that don't take life so much serious. Life is fun, life is beautiful. Always be happy, because happiness is the key of success. Thank you again, guys. Take care. Bye bye.